Hi, everyone. My name is Arden McLaughlin. I own a publicity firm called Definita. I help you tell your story better and more effectively to help you reach whatever goal you're trying to reach. The best way I know to do that is to start off every one of our sessions together with a communication strategy plan. So that is a huge dream big, have fun session that leads to a really cool plan. So I do this two different ways. One is with one-on-one sessions or small groups that has me in person. It's a 2 to 3 hour session. I've done a lot of work beforehand to make sure we're ready. The second way I do that is about once a month, I'll have group Zoom sessions. These are less expensive than the one-on-one, but they give you the opportunity to get started on your communication dreams and plans and really start to lean into what you need. So when you're ready to come for a one-on-one session, you have all the parts that you need. So I'm going to tell you a bit about why communication strategy sessions matter, what goes into them, and how I can work with you to build your best story. So let me pull up my screen share here. Go into this. Go into presentation mode. So here we are. Communication strategy plans. Why are they important? Why do they matter? Who needs them? All the things. Really, all of us need them. We all need a plan to help us get to whatever we're trying to get to. If we're trying to sell, if we're trying to write a book, whatever your dreams are, you have to have a plan to get there. So in this presentation, we're going to decide what are your communication objectives? Who's your target audience? What problem do you solve? That's going to help lead us to who you are and why people should buy from you. So first, who am I? I'm a storyteller, I'm a relationship builder, I'm a message crafter, I'm a cat lover, Tar Heel fan, and aspiring affiliate marketer. I love building brands and I want to help you build yours. So why do we talk about marketing? Why do we do any of this? It's because if people can't pay you if they don't know you exist. Marketing is everything. I found that from Instagram, from an account I follow called the Angie Lee Show, and I really loved it. I feel like it makes us know why we need to do what we need to do. So what does someone in PR do? So people ask, what are publicists? PR people, according to Forbes and me, PR people are storytellers. PR can be used to protect, enhance, or build reputations through media, social media, or self-produced communications. Think of newsletters, videos, YouTube channels, that kind of thing. A good PR practitioner will analyze your organization, find the positive messages, and translate those messages into positive stories. So that's why I really focus on communication strategy sessions first, is because I fully believe that we have to work together. We have to figure out what those messages are. And you need to do that in one sitting, in one session, to really start to go, what do we want to say? What do we not want to say? What are we comfortable with? All of those things. So when you talk about your position in the market, if you do one-on-one sessions with me, we create a whole positioning statement for you. But even in my small group classes, the ones that are online, I have one coming up in a few weeks. We really talk about your communication objectives, your target audience or audiences, and what problems you solve. Because with all of that, that's when you can really see what your position is in the market. You pull those things together and you start to see, oh my gosh, this is who I am. Wow, this is my position in the market. This is not a personal mission statement. This is not a value statement. Those are things that a lot of people will come to me and they're like, I've already done that. I have that. But what you need and why you need to work with someone like me is because you need to know your position in the market as much as you need to know your personal values and your personal mission. So it starts with story. You have to own your story. And part of owning your story is knowing your position and realizing what it is. And if the position that you are. If you are seeking to get different target audiences, if you need better communication objectives, that's where you look at your story, what you're putting out, and really figuring out, is that what you want? Because the next thing, once you figure out your story, you have to own it. Then you can deliver it. So you can go to a PR person and say, tell my story. But if the PR person hasn't crafted, hasn't sat down, hasn't figured out that story with you, it's not going to be as valuable. You need to know who you are, where you are, what you do, and why your audience needs you. Those are so critical because people relate to story. You've got to set your goals based on your story. So when we think about that, it all starts with people talk about brand all the time. They talk about position, they talk about brand, they talk about who you are, they talk about hitting sales marks, all these sorts of things. But why would someone come to your brand? Why would they choose you over your competitor? Especially today, in this day and age, we want to know who you are. It's why Instagram stories are so much more popular than your Instagram feed. It's why YouTube. It's why all of these, it's why people will watch a documentary on a Tiger King, or they'll watch really great Shonda Rhimes stories. It's because your story matters and we relate to it. So when you can set your goals based on your story, that's when you can start to build a brand. And building a brand is simply chasing likes in a fancier term. So a lot of times you'll hear people say they're so popular on Instagram. That's because they've built a brand. They are not chasing likes. They're not creating whoever the next person is. They actually know who they are and they're talking to their audience. So goals you create out of building your brand: making more sales, speaking more, positioning yourself as an expert, creating brand loyalty. All of that stems from your story. So from story to meeting your goals. So that's where these communication strategy sessions and plans really come into play, because you maybe know your story, but how do you get there? A communication strategy session and plan allow the participants to dream big about who you are, why you are, what do you want to do? And from there, you can create a really solid positioning statement that is the foundation for every one of your desired actions. So when we talk about PR, I want you to know that why I do it the way I do it is because I love telling your story, and I want to make sure I'm spreading the information for you in the right way. But the components within PR, local media, social media, newsletters, community partnerships, all of those that drive business still need to come back to that plan. It's why I talk about it, and this is why I've created this whole program, is because you need to be saying the same thing and then talking to the audiences in a way they hear it. Definita is always going to be a publicity firm. I'm always going to help you define yourself in a cluttered marketplace. However, if I'm on my local media, I'm going to be talking differently than when I'm on my social media. When I'm creating my newsletters, I'm going to have a different thing than when I'm creating my community partnerships. But all of those still stem from defining myself in a cluttered marketplace and telling my story to build my business. That's the communication strategy way. That's how you get the most effective PR. So what is this? Why is this important? When you know your story and you know what your goals are, you can fully lean into the right relationships. So back here, when I was talking about community partnerships, when I'm talking about social media, when I'm talking about local media and newsletters, you want that going to the right relationships, the right people. That's how you start to drive sales. So then when we get into a more extensive communication plan, we start to go into, what are your current communication platforms? What is your current messaging? What's your calendar look like? Because when you start to dream really big, it starts to feel so daunting. So when you work with me, I create a calendar for you. I help you figure out these messages. So then you can put it out in a way that you don't feel overwhelmed. You actually feel really excited and you're ready to go forward. You're ready to do what you need to do. Because communication strategy is the key to successful PR. Again, when you know what your story is and what your goals are, you can more fully lean into building the right relationships with members of the media, community partners, and your customers. So how can I help you? You can find me at marketingdefinita.com, on Instagram at Arden_McLaughlin, or you can email me at arden@marketingdefinita.com. I feel like these programs, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, is changing the game. Every one of my clients who comes and we go through this, they blow up, things happen more effectively for them, and I want to do that for you. So thanks for watching this. I cannot wait to hear from you, and have a great rest of your day.